should talk about that. Rap voice. Mm-hmm. It's like, yes, support your breath. Okay. So there's upcoming stream today. Uh-huh. All right, I have a feeling that. So if that one, I'm gonna end that one and then let's see. Oh, it already ended, I guess. Delete forever. I believe it should be. Mm-hmm. Yes. Yes, because the technical stuff is always the thing. It's just dropping so many frames, man. That's not cool. Yes, indeed. And I'm gonna see if I can do a little bit of adjusting right now. Output cannot change while you're live, so you gotta pop back out, pop back in. Okay, shoots. Let's see what we got. My stream is experiencing issues, and I don't know why. I don't know why. Only this is only from OBS too, y'all. I use like the Explorer one and it works, but now I can't log back into that account. Goodness. Yeah, that's gonna be. Today might be the day where I just try to figure this stuff out. Because it is. Mhm. So if anybody's tuning in, which I don't think they are looking at the viewer count, but if anyone is, 3 people, okay. Um, then I would say just let us know for coming through. I'm looking at my stats. It says I'm having some issues with it. Uh, but, I'm going to try to just keep going forward with it. So let me know if it's coming in clear. So the videography, I'm like seeing half of the chat right now too. So that's one thing I like about OBS is that it has a way for me to see the chat. So yeah. So let me know how it's coming through. Uh, there we go. I'll just slide this over somewhere. Josh Adams, appreciate you, man. Um, thank you for rocking with it. I'm gonna just act as if. So, just let me know in the chat if it like starts to go crazy. I am a little starving, so I'm gonna take a bite of food off camera real quick. Yeah, let us know. The link is there on the screen at the top for the access to the Zoom call, so you can hop in and get some direct coaching with you. Everything's screaming red, but let me know if there's. Please let me know if there's. Says the audio is clear, but the video is froze. Okay. Well, that might have to be the way it is. Yeah. Yeah. And the guy frozen with the PDX people shirt and the hat is Desmond. And we are, yeah, so we're just here to help out, help folks along their MC journey. And we were talking about this earlier this week about how we're talking about just how like your journey with MCing kind of starts and then where a lot of time it ends for people. So I think if I experienced, um, it's like you start around in your teens, some of us early teens, myself late teens, pretty much college. And, when you're going into it, you're passionate about it. And you're also like, I want to have a career, right? I'm going to, that's why there's so many rappers on SoundCloud and just out there now, right? Because they're pursuing this as their passion to make it a career. And at some point, you have your various successes with it, but then it gets to a point where like sometimes just the challenge of having a career takes over, and then you get to this point where like I may like is it still it's not it's if it doesn't become your full-time thing, then like why do you keep pursuing it, right? And then at some point, what I would imagine, what I'm trying to encourage, and I think what makes what I do and what Rhyme Masters does as a focus different from like some of the other folks out there is that, you know, we're focused on the fact that like by staying with the MC journey, you're getting more than just a career. You're getting more, you're getting that you're getting a vehicle for self-expression to be able to cultivate who you are and process the world. And we're being real. This is mostly a male-dominated thing. Doesn't need to stay that way. Um, but speaking at it from the maleness side of it, the man point of view, like we aren't necessarily encouraged to like talk about what we feel and talk about and tell our stories and all that. Um, we have like a pretty narrow way that we're supposed to be presenting ourselves in the world. And I think through emceeing, we actually get to explore some of those other aspects of our life and our story that it's harder to just like do on a day to day. But I think then you do it emceeing, then it makes it easier for you to talk about on the day to day and being able to process what we're going through and the emotions and, you know, pursuing mastery of a craft helps us pursue mastery within ourselves too. So that's ultimately what this is about is taking the MC journey and putting it um, in the context of a whole life and not just a rap career. So that's kind of what I'm thinking about. So yeah, yes. That took me. All right, that's like one element was missing from like Avatar, right? Is the word, right? Come back as the from the word nation. Right. Yeah. Yeah. Josh, so you're talking about becoming a real rapper um, with freestyling, and so tips for that. I mean, there's so many with that. I'll just say like the okay. I'll look at it this way. Uh, ask yourself what you mean by real, and one of the things I would say is if you're defining real by your if you're defining real by standards outside of yourself, uh, but not defining real by like your own experience, then I think that will play a factor in just how authentic you feel in expressing yourself in this craft. So like, I do think that like uh, one of the distinctions I make between rappers and MCs is on a ability side, MCs have the ability to freestyle. Um, and on the cultural side, MCs also are representatives and think about how they impact hip hop culture, not just the music industry, but how they impact hip hop culture. So I'm talking about like, you know, the things that you do and as an MC that have effects on the community, even though the community may not be pursuing careers in music, right? So like that's the the difference for me. You know, a rapper is a music industry uh, thing in my view, and and it's not a knock. Like there's dope rappers out there, and rappers I even respect, and I don't know enough about them to if I would even like consider them MC by this definition that I have. So all that to say is like this idea of being, you know, a real MC or just real begins being starts with being real with yourself. That's um, what I'll say there. And so when you're freestyling, how real are you being um, in your freestyle, right? Um, I've been listening to a lot of freestyles lately. Uh, Most recently, last week, it was Super Nat. He was freestyling on his Instagram. And one of the things that kind of sets Supernatural apart from a lot of MCs out there that freestyle, besides just being like just really dope at it, and one of the like one of the people that really like brought the art of freestyling to the forefront with his routines and stuff like that. But what really makes Supernat dope is that like he actually speaks to like, you know, his real life, real things, like real messages and like ideas and philosophies that he wants there to be out in the world. Like you get a sense of like who he is through his freestyle. Where I see some other cats freestyle and it's like it's dope and it's entertaining, but I don't learn anything really about who that person is. Right? I learn how well they play with the words. I learn how well, you know, how they do the multiple syllables. Right? I learn how good they are as performers interacting with people. Um, you know, how quickly they think, you know, on their feet. But I don't know their story in their freestyling. And I don't think it's like either or. Like I think you can be dope lyrically as far as like the wordplay and the multi-syllable rhyming and all the things that make, you know, us rap fans go like, oh, that was a crazy bar, right? But the connection piece needs to be there as well. And I would even say that like between the two, as far as making an impact and connecting with people, well, there you go. Connection is the bigger thing. Like there's a lot of people out there who may not like a certain rapper, and I won't say any names just because it's not really about the names, but it's like all the rappers out there are not like the best lyricists in the world, but the rappers that manage to like make a connection, the MCs that manage to make a connection, tell their story, reveal themselves more, um, they're the ones that tend to have bigger, a more solid support than the super lyrical, you know, all about the craft and the pen and the wordplay and the intricacies. Like that's the so like it's like heart and mind, right? So like at some point, you know, if it's just all mind, it doesn't resonate. So you got to have a lot of heart in what you're doing. So putting that out there like that. So ah, so yeah, is the chat still going on? I know I'm frozen. I see my frames. Nice. Yeah. Yeah. Um, it's like, and I think that's what I'm loving about the current state of rap music is that it's so broad now. I mean, it's always been broad, but like it's just expanded since then. And so you once you get confident in being authentic, telling your story, um, then the finding people that will resonate with it um, has gotten much easier now with the internet, and it's just right now you just got to have the confidence to continue to tell your story. Like that's what and that's like in my own story. Like it wasn't until I realized that I can talk about what I love talking about that I could, uh, like I didn't have to rap about things I didn't go through. Like I didn't have to rap about, you know, thug life. Didn't have to rap about like uh, getting girls, pimping women. Like I didn't need to rap about those things to be accepted. You know, maybe to get a deal or to get on that next level, right? Like that's kind of the story and the myth that we tell ourselves. Uh, but to, but from a technical standpoint of just being able, technical and practical standpoint, is like giving yourself permission to talk about what you want to talk about and be real with yourself first, and then that can help with the um, that authentic that can just help you get comfortable telling your story, speaking your truth, and then once you're comfortable with it, that kind of gives you the fuel to kind of take on the other challenges that it means to share your art form and build a platform for yourself. Um, so yeah, that's like a you know MC philosophy, I guess. There, um, technical questions as far as like freestyle tips and stuff like that. Kind of depends on just where you're at, what challenges you have with it. So yeah, let's see. Where's this? Chat's going. Video is stuck. If the video's frozen too, then I'll probably have to just keep talking to let people know we're still here. Yeah. Yeah. Mm. Yeah. I meant, yeah, I'm glad you spoke to that too. That, because if you like, when's the last time that you've seen folks rapping together? And I'm not talking about like rap groups. You know what I mean? Like, right, right. You know, even if like you're going online now and you're watching like Damian Lillard has his 4 bar Fridays where you like host and like bring people on, uh, and Sway and basically he's doing bedroom bars, right? And every time they connect to somebody, like, I mean, obviously it's quarantine, so you can't like necessarily have a lot of people together, but how often do you see like MCs rapping together? And my guess is, yeah, like my guess is not often, right? And I think part of that is some of the stuff you spoke to about the once you're getting into it, there's just a fear of sharing, right? There's a fear of putting yourself out there. And there's also, but I think there's also like a stigma, maybe, like to obviously not to us who love emceeing and hip hop culture, right? But to like the general public that just knows of, whatever. Like you're at a party with your friends and you're like they ask you what you do. Uh, how quickly are we like eager to say like, oh, I rap. Right. 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 Well, they do that to comedians too. Yeah. Hmm. Right. Oh God, yeah. Like as soon as the kids find out that I rap, it's like every day. Rap for us, Mr. Span, rap for us. It's like, no. Like I will cuz it's going to be it's evident in everything that I do. So at some point I will start rapping and you won't expect it because it's like a part of the lesson. Like I'm showing you something through the rap. But uh yeah, as soon as they find out, then it's nonstop. And so I mean, I was just thinking to myself too, like, yeah, I like that Val. Maybe I'll do that. But then I remembered that like I would be rapping like right. Yeah. Yeah. I might take that. I might do that. Like, all right. I was like, all right, well, I'll do it, but you gotta start. Give me a couple bars to build off of. Yeah. Give me a couple bars to kick it off, and then I'll take it from there. But yeah, I guess. that'll shut it down,